What makes you think you deserve it?
When you've been working since you were 13, promise mom by everything. Burnt so often, fire talking, scars so dark they fill your dreams. Nightmares to the young and clean. Life would wait for some it seems. Pray for days when heaven stays, but you ain't put no work in for the crown. You ain't put no work in for the crown.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Unplugging number 22. Again, we're going to redo this episode because the Matrix was attacking us last time.
We were trying to crack the code in the Matrix, and the Matrix said, no cracking codes today.
Yes. So, whatever, we're going to leave that episode up there if you guys want to see what happened. But we're going to try again, and we have a few tricks up our sleeves, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so the trick's basically, just so we avoid the copywriting and things like that. This is what's going to help us out here. The mirroring effect,
Put a little mirroring effect in and all that stuff.
Absolutely. And we're not going to full screen this reaction video. Okay, it's mostly going to be me. Right? It's going to be mostly me, right? And then the video's going to be minimized.
Yeah, it's just what you see right now, but like you're gonna be in a corner.
Very good. Yeah, we'll keep working on this stuff, and then whenever we do like future videos for reaction, then this kind of have the quality and kind of the way.
It's gonna have to be the way, so we don't get blocked again.
Yeah, that was something. We were coming in and out.
I was like, what's going on?
This is interesting.
Yeah,
very interesting.
You want to get started, or?
Yes, sir. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started here.
Yeah, and it's gonna look a little weird because it's gonna be mirrored, but just bear with us. Here, I'm gonna start from the beginning this time. Let's see. Press play.
Which
tell you the truth,
is because we have so much sperm. We produce so much sperm, and that makes us want to repopulate the earth, basically. And so a lot of times what happens is I think that society is telling men not to do that for whatever reason, you know what I mean? And some guys fall into that, but I definitely believe that, men actually want to be with multiple women because it's just a natural thing in us. This is why you hear all the time, men always cheating and guys feel like they, trying to hide the cheating and everything like that. And if it was natural for them to just want to be with that one woman, then cheating wouldn't even be an issue. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I think for...
So the question is, men are designed to want to sleep with multiple women. Mm-hmm. And then these are the alphas who are agreeing to that.
Right. And I personally, I would agree, to be honest with you. Like, this goes back to nomadic times. This goes back way back. The thing is, nowadays, if we're going to fast forward this from the nomadic times, even the Bible demonstrates figures in there. I haven't read the whole thing, but I know it mentions figures of men who have multiple wives, multiple women. So to me, it's just like, okay, even in a religious culture, even when we're talking about more from a non-secular standpoint, it's there. It's just men's nature. It really is.
Right.
Men are designed to procreate. Men are designed to spread seed. Men want to be able to have multiple women. It's just the way it is, guys. And to kind of dive deeper into, I guess, the cold, hard truth, here's how the dynamics works, okay? What women tend to, and I think they refuse to understand this, okay, because they like to live in their own little la-la land delusional world where they think they're qualified for a super high-value guy who's going to be monogamous to them.
Yeah.
And that couldn't be further from the truth. It couldn't be further from a woman being as delusional can be. Right? Ladies, I hate to break it to you. I'm going to give you the cold, hard truth, and I'm just going to be straight up with you, okay? Whether it's a low-value male, a beta male, an alpha, a gamma, whatever it is you want to call it, high-value men, average value, low value, if a man has the ability to cheat, there is an extremely high likelihood he will do it. An extremely high likelihood. So even if we're talking about a low-value male who, he's not rich, or maybe he's not super-duper in shape, but he happens to be charismatic, he happens to have some stoicism. He has some redeeming qualities that attract some women, most likely the average to low value women. What do you think that guy's gonna do? You really think he's only gonna choose one? Most likely he's gonna choose a multitude. He's gonna say, okay, well, I'm gonna spin plates like we talked about. But if he's at that point where he can have multiple women, he's most likely gonna take it. So what the Unplugging is mostly going to say is, if you're gonna pick a man, if you're one of those girls who says, "Oh well, all men cheat," blah blah blah, I'm gonna give it to you straight. If you're gonna go with that oh well, all men cheat, then pick a guy who is going to give you everything that you want, that matches your standards, matches your qualities, and he's very high value in your eyes, whatever you consider high value, and accept that there's a very high likelihood that he's gonna want multiple women. So at that point, it's pick your poison. Pick a man who's high value, who's going to have all these women being thrown on him because, again, he's high value and then make copying is a thing. Or go for a lower value man who, if he has the ability to do it, to cheat, he's probably most likely going to do it. So pick your poison at that point. I hate to break it to you, but that's just kind of the reality there. You want to add anything on to that, Chris?
No, I'm ready to honestly skip all the part that we did, but
let's
go through it.
That's fine. Dang, hey. Oh, wow, we haven't seen you in a long time, actually. Oh, my goodness. Wow, welcome back. I hope all is well. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, we're doing a little reaction video. We were just kind of going over the cheating aspect on the men's side and how women need to pretty much accept the fact that if a man has the ability to cheat, he's most likely going to do it. Most likely going to do it. So if you want to kind of revert back to more of the explanation.
I don't think he's going to like that, but yeah.
But it is what it is. You know, the unplugging says what needs to be said, not what people want to hear.
Right.
You know?
I expected that answer.
Yeah, we did actually. Go ahead.
All right, we're going to continue
the
on.
The way we were cultured, I agree with that, but also too, just through human history, right? For survival, maybe this is old school thinking, but it's just like for survival, you need to have lots of kids. So if someone's pregnant,
right.
How do you keep multiplying? You just, more women, right? Not saying it's right or wrong, but it's just kind of the way. I think women even cheat too. It's like 50-50.
Yeah, I think women also want to do their thing, you know what I'm saying, in some situations, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it's just men. I think it's a natural, like I feel like because that desire is there,
let's pause for a moment.
It's a natural thing.
Just really quick point. I argue it's not 50-50 when it comes to cheating. You want to know why? Because women have more opportunities than men in general.
That is true.
So it doesn't make sense where men who are 80% of men, and this is from the OkCupid studies and just online dating,
right.
If 80% of men are deemed unattractive, how do they have more opportunities to cheat versus the 80% of women who have?
Harder, yeah.
You see what I mean? Like the inverse relationship, if you say it like that, doesn't make sense. Women have all the opportunities in the world to cheat if they want to. Why? Because they have all these options.
Yeah, they got a lot of options, especially now with dating apps.
Yeah, only men who are higher status have options.
That's true.
You know, they have more options.
Yeah.
And that's
for, you know, if we're talking specifically men, that desire to want to do it is natural in us. So then therefore you're going to want to do it. So I don't think it's a natural thing to just be with this one woman. But at the same time, when I'm with this one woman, I only want to stay with her. It's almost like I'm lying to myself if I just want to be with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense. But the question is that the end point? Is being with multiple women the end point? I'm of the firm belief that it is important to position yourself as a man to have the capacity to be with as many women as you possibly can and position yourself in a way where you understand female nature and you maximize your potential as a man. And that's where I don't necessarily agree that just because there's a deeper desire to continue to do it means it's going to be the most optimal thing for you and your own ability to thrive at the highest level and connect with God here on earth.
I was taught not to be with multiple women, right? But it's like, especially, I mean, here's the thing, especially when you're in a relationship, right? It's like, it's better to grow together with somebody than multiple people, which I totally agree. But I think in the dating terms, it's like, there's nothing wrong with being multiple women because I think that's just dating. It's experimenting, it's finding other people. But are we naturally made to just always be with one person? It's like, if that were true, then these first thoughts of being with another woman, even though I'm in a committed relationship, would never occur. But it comes up once in a while. But it doesn't mean I'm acting upon it. So
and you might be being generous about saying once in a while. Probably goes up quite a bit.
It depends what kind of relationship you're in, I guess. Or
yeah. So what Justin Waller said, including the gentleman on his left, I can agree with that. That when it comes to dating, if men are in that position to have multiple women, I do think it keeps him. How can I say this actually? When men have chances to have multiple women, what happens is it keeps the current girl that I guess, is trying to consider herself a little bit more serious or take herself more serious with the guy, it keeps her on her toes. As we mentioned before, when women get comfortable and they feel like they don't have to try, and they see that the man is very predictable, no self growth, she doesn't feel like she has to give anymore in the relationship. What do you think happens? We talked about it like 3 videos ago. She ends up thinking that if she thinks she can do better, she's going to most likely do better. That's how it is. Let me see what we got here. Tang, what you got here? It's not loyalty and important character savvy and high value men. Well, you see, here's the thing, Tang. You remember that study we pulled up like in our 4th video regarding that loyalty isn't that important for women?
I don't think she remembers.
I remember it. That study literally was titled "Women Want It All."
Yeah.
Women want it all. So they consider the more industriousness and more of the go-getter type of guy, right? They want a guy who's, like I mentioned, the industrious part, the guy who's going to be a go-getter. I said that already. I'm repeating myself here. Who's going to be the person, kind of losing my train of thought here. I don't know why, because I'm thinking of so many different things. Yeah. But they want the guy to be, of course, they want the guy to be tall, good-looking, he has experience, things like that, and he's attracted to other women. Those are just a few things, right? So the loyalty, believe it or not, I know this is going to be a bit of a hard pill to swallow for women to understand, but again, understand, men are going to only be as faithful as their options.
Yeah.
If they have all these options and they have high value and they build themselves up to be high value, multiple women are going to throw themselves on the guy.
Yeah.
Multiple. Like a guy who just sits in a corner by himself, has nothing going for him, or is homeless, women aren't going to throw themselves on him because men are judged for their futures. Women want secure futures.
Yeah.
They want the man to give them the future. So whenever a man, like these guys here, they can give experience, they give lifestyles, okay? When experience and lifestyles are thrown onto the table, women want that. They're going to fight tooth and nail with each other to get that lifestyle from the guy. And I mentioned a long time ago in one of our videos, women don't care about the experience that's given to them at the current moment. They care about the longevity. How often can the experience be given to the woman?
That's true.
I've always said that. Like women thrive off experience. They thrive off that. If the guy is not able to give them experience, what does that lead to? In the Colors of the Rainbow, remember that one? Leads to boredom. Women want experience, and we can pull up that study again. Maybe if you want me to pull it up, I'll go ahead and pull that up for you, so that way we can kind of go over a little bit more. I kind of want to look at that again, to be honest with you. That was pretty fun.
I mean, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say, okay, cheating for men and cheating for women are like a little bit different. You know, she's saying like loyalty and all that kind of stuff. It's just not the same, you know.
I don't fit in those studies. I love that. Yeah. Well, listen, Tang. So I'm gonna say this one point, Tang. So check it out. In one of my other videos, I love when people say that they don't fit studies. Okay.
Yeah.
So because you're not starving at home, does that mean world hunger doesn't exist? If you're not part of sex trafficking, does that mean there is no sex trafficking? You know what I mean? Like, it's just because you're part of that, or at least you think you are, part of that small minority, the small percentage is not the norm, and it's not the generalization. The generalization right now is men will cheat. That's the general thing. Like, if men are going to be monogamous, all right, they're going to be monogamous by choice, not because the woman forces them to be monogamous. That should never happen. Absolutely not. Because if you watch one of our other videos, it was the simping one, actually, right? Where remember, we were on that topic for a little bit. We said, in the relationship, understanding dynamics, the one who gives, who has the ability to give real tangible value and doesn't need as much from the opposite sex, is the prize, has the authority, has the power. And the one who doesn't give as much real tangible value and needs so much has no leverage, has no power. Like, if we compare a king and a peasant, who's the prize? The king or the peasant? Who gives more? Who needs more? The king has the power to give more. The peasant needs more. So who's in control? It's the same thing here. It's absolutely no different when it comes to relationships. So it's just more on understanding the dynamics on that. We can continue here.
Or how good of a day it is, right? Like, but I would say for me, if it was totally natural, even though I was nurtured into only being with one woman, that these thoughts wouldn't occur then.
Right. And the thing with me, I'm non-monogamous. So I have a wife, I have a girlfriend, and I still, from time to time hook up with other girls. You know what I mean? And so, and the thing is, it feels regular to me. It doesn't feel like I'm trying to do it or doing it because I'm forcing myself. It just feels just natural, like it's something I want to do. You know what I mean? And so to not do it feels unnatural. You might just want this one woman for a relationship. I can understand that. But sexually, though, I think it's all BS.
Yeah, I agree. I think a man can absolutely be head over heels in love with a woman and still sleep with other women and it not mean anything to him.
Right.
And I think all men have the proclivity to want to sleep with other women. Now, whether they're able to speak to that and actually act on that or not, or if they've been able to, like you said, like religiously find a way to work around it. And I think religion has been great for that, because if it weren't for religion, we probably would not have society. But I think what's most important to identify is that a man should create choice in his life. And if you have choice, you should be able to do as you wish, particularly like in your case, like in my case, if there's no deceit.
Exactly.
It's the lying that, in my opinion, is actually the overall problem when guys, tend to go outside of a relationship. They lie to the woman.
Right.
That's the problem.
So when I was growing up, I was under the belief of just being with one woman, right? Like I was a virgin for a very long time. Then one girl broke my heart. So that caused like a lot of insecurity.
A quick point here, actually. Gentlemen, this is for you guys now, all right? If you're going to cheat, not that I'm telling you to do it, okay? The unplugging doesn't entice men to do that, okay?
Yeah.
We just tell you, if you're going to do it, then plan around it, okay? If you decide to do it. And that men have a natural proclivity, just like Waller says, to want to do that. That's all we're saying, okay? And then we've shown studies as well when it comes to the proclivity nature of the cheating and aspects. And if we even look back, on ancestry, women have a higher rate of ancestry, not males. Women are the ones who are more successful when it comes to mate completion and giving birth and things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But why is that? You want to know why that is?
Go for it.
The reason why that is because women share men. That's why. If it was even 1-1, one man, one woman, it would have a 50-50 rate. But if we have more female ancestry, something's off.
Yeah.
Women are sharing men. So it's the fact that history even shows this. And we've even talked about figures in the past like Ismail the Bloodthirsty. He's had, you remember the number?
I don't remember the numbers. But
he had 500 wives, 500 women and 888 children.
Damn, that's nuts.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Totally nuts. And big figures like that are the ones who procreate heavily with multiple women. You know what I mean?
Not all men. I think, what was it? Like, I heard like 50% of men just don't get to procreate.
Yeah.
It's pretty high up there. And it should be scary. And men should want to do things to help their chances,
And thanks to feminism, like our society
it's getting worse.
I can predict in the next, I think, decade or next generation that comes around, we're going to see an even bigger decline in divorce, childbirths, relationships. More women being single, more single mothers. Oh, don't even get me started with that one, man. Jesus Christ.
Shit. I don't have it here.
What else?
Yeah, the study with the...
Oh, the expectancy. Yeah. Very good, very good. So 45% of women are expected to be single and childless
by 2030.
So a little under a decade. Okay. So let's see. What was that age? It was 25? So 45% of women in which between 25 to 44 will be single and childless. And you see, here's the problem with that also. Because women peak between the ages of 18 and 24, maybe 25. The fact that you've passed your prime years, your peaking years where you're more fertile.
You're already screwed,
Yeah, you're already screwed. Like, it's not to the point where the fertility is the reproductive value. Remember we talked about that from what we were reading and such? The reproductive value, once you get 25, it's still okay. Is it as good, obviously, as the 18-year-old, 20, and stuff like that? No, obviously not.
Yeah, I think it's still fine. Once you hit 30, it's like, oh, you know, a little questionable.
Yeah, that's when the wall hits.
Yeah.
You know, the wall kind of hits, and that's when women start naturally and innately thinking like, oh, Jesus Christ, I'm still single. Oh, I don't have a child.
That's when you start panicking, yeah.
They panic.
Yeah.
And then, like we were talking about, right? We brought this whole thing like the older women are, the bolder they are. We made that up. That was definitely that's a gold one there actually.
Yeah.
But what do we have here really quick? So 40. Okay, so we have that one.
Yeah, it's just a study. They just go through.
2019.
The number of single women in the U.S. is expected to increase 1.2% every year from 2018 to. That's pretty high.
That's insane.
Yeah, man. We're just going to go through this real quick, and yeah, I mean,
a little video kind of explaining that.
Right.
And you know what we can blame on that?
We
can blame a certain piece of technology.
Well,
the birth control pill.
That's one. I think there's a lot of factors, but you know,
it's like feminism, of course.
Feminism, pornography, plastics in the water, if you want to say, you know.
But the pill is what started this rapid decline, and then that's when it instigated no-fault divorces at some point. Oh, that was terrible. Yeah. Terrible. Dr. Cervantes, my man, thank you for joining us. God damn, man, we got a hot stream here. Let's go back to the show.
Resentment towards the other side, right? And then I just became like a man whore for a little bit.
The problem is you have guys who are monogamous, but they're monogamous because they're forced to be monogamous in a way, meaning that they have no choice because they don't have the skill to attract multiple women.
And a lot of times they'll use that as virtue signaling. I would never do such a thing. Well, actually, bro, you can't.
All right. Can the disagree step forward?
Yes. Oh, yeah, that was spicy.
I remember when I would like go on tour and things like that.
Oh, this guy.
My friends would always try to encourage me to like hook up with girls that were on to me. But I wasn't really like into it. And
yeah, he's wearing a dress.
It made me feel like weird, like off, like there was something wrong.
Look at Justin Waller's face.
Yeah.
And now I'm at a point in my life where I feel like I'm only having sex with multiple women, so I'm not weird, so I'm quote unquote normal. I feel like even when I do have sex with these random women, it doesn't give me any gratification. And I know that comes with like random sex in the end, but I know in the back of my mind that like I just like simply don't enjoy this. Like I've been with multiple women and I've been with one woman, and being with one woman is just so peaceful. As far as like telling young men that they're born this way and that they should feel this way, it can really not do damage, but just sort of make you second guess things about yourself. Am I normal? Am I weird? Is there something off about me? Everyone else around me is saying that I have to feel this way or I have to do these things, but yet I don't feel the courage to do those things.
I would say that's not true, though. I don't think that we should promote men sleep with multiple women.
No,
I think that we should promote choice and what feels right to you. So in your particular case, I would never tell you to sleep with multiple women. I think you might be doing the right thing to do exactly what you're doing and not do it or stop doing it.
You're not going to have those feelings. You're not going to have those urges. You're not going to want to have sex. You know, if you're like low testosterone, you can. Yeah, this is all low testosterone here. This is look an address.
Yeah, the low testosterone, like we even pulled
weird fucking tats everywhere, and like, bro, like you look more gay than anything. And then he does have a gay pride fucking thing.
Yeah, we're observing this here. Yeah, because the thing is, the low testosterone thing, men aren't really on the prowl. They're just
they're just like and they're more inclined to be followers and beta males like he is and all that kind of stuff.
And the thing is also, you want to know to add on to more insult to injury to female delusion. If the man, let's say this guy right here, because he's preaching like, oh, if I'm with just one woman, it's so peaceful, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
What he's not mentioning, and he probably doesn't want to because, you know, he probably doesn't want a big disagreement from the alphas, is when women see that if they're with a guy and they're either being forced to be monogamous with a woman, or she sees that there are no other options the guy has, she feels like she has leverage. She feels like she has leverage and power over him. Now, what women are probably going to say, oh, what's wrong with the men not having other options? I'll tell you what the problem with that is for the most part, okay? Because, again, when women feel that the guy is beneath them, feels like they're better than them, feels like the guy isn't in this authoritative position, isn't a superior, isn't leading the relationship, isn't taking charge, isn't really showing masculinity. I can name a bunch more. Yeah. The woman tends, at some point, she'll tolerate it for a little bit, but she'll be like, I can do better. Like, I feel very secure in this relationship because he's not going around, but I don't feel like he's very masculine. I don't think that he leads. He's pedestalizing me. He's giving me everything that I want, but it's too much. He's giving me too much validation, too much attention. I see him all the time. You see what I mean? Like, it doesn't, like, the math doesn't math in a woman's head when all of that happens.
Yeah.
Literally, when all that happens.
It's not about pushing it on the young men, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of young men that have a demon inside and maybe are really upset and frustrated with themselves because they feel a certain way. And it's like, oh, I'm coming out the closet. I'm straight, you know, or super straight or too straight or whatever it is. I think that it's really going to be about choice, man. So if me to you, I tell you, if that you don't feel good doing that, man, I wouldn't do it at all.
Yeah, I agree. In your situation, what was happening, and this is what I think a lot of times what happens is you have guys who will have sex with multiple women because they're trying to fill a void. So it shouldn't be about filling a void. It should be about you actually desiring. So you don't desire to do it, so which is why you shouldn't do it. But there are guys who desire to do it, but then they're suppressing their desire, and then it's doing the same thing as you not wanting to do it. Like they feel weird about not doing it, but they want to, whereas you felt weird doing it, but you didn't want to.
I think it's a society thing. Like what you just said, who's making them feel guilty about not doing it? Other men. The reason, I think women and men, the question was, do you feel that men are meant to sleep with multiple women? Or they're just, you know, that's what they do. And I don't think that's true. I think it's a part of your character and who you are. I do believe that if you're going to be honest with your partner is into it, but do I believe that we are biologically meant and it's in our head because we have to procreate and this and that? I don't believe that. I believe the reason we do it a lot is because it's looked upon as a great thing for men to have multiple women. Women are shamed for that. Shamed totally. I have one son and two daughters, and I know the difference of how I felt when they were 15 or in their 20s. Now they were 15 versus him having multiple partners or my daughter.
So if I could struck a check for $1 million and never feel that feeling again, I absolutely would. I really, really would. It's something that I really hated myself for, and I felt very apart. I grew up in the South Louisiana. It was a Bible Belt. And I felt very distant from people around me because I had this urge in me and could not understand why I was so different. Like the biggest self-hate I've ever felt in my life is over this particular subject. I thought I was broken.
And I understand you. And me, again, I'm going to come back with, you know, just being around a bit. And me, I'm bisexual. I've always have been. But like you heard me say, I've been married to a woman for 30 years. And I've been committed for 30 years. It doesn't that I don't have that desire. It's my character to say, this is my person. And that's who I want to be with.
So that's what you're making a character versus is the drive.
I was going to say.
Then that goes back to, are we just built that way? Because if we're just built that way as men, then there's multiple people that I'm going to want to sleep with.
But I think what I was under the impression with that question was, are we biologically DNA created for that? I say yes, but I loved and I agree with what we're saying here. It's like, but as men, right? In the culture and awareness and being a human being, having a consciousness, choice, language, we can choose not to. We can go against those desires or urges and stuff.
If you feel that desire and you're honest with your partner, I believe that is true.
Yes, I think there's definitely merits to both the points the bisexual saying and the other guy saying. Okay, simply because again, like it always boils down to choice. Men should be monogamous if they choose to be. It's that simple. If men are going to cheat, then they have to have that conversation. Always. Don't try to do it behind a woman's back because problems happen. I can't imagine a man who's like as average, and let's say they're very committed to a woman, and they probably have kids together, you know? Can you imagine the guy comes through the door of the house that they both live in with another woman and finds out that he got another girl pregnant? That is disgraceful for the woman at the core. It's like, what the heck? Like, all right, like I kind of figured you were sleeping around a little bit. We talked even, but the fact that you got another woman pregnant,
it's gonna hurt the financials and there's gonna be a lot of problems with it.
Yeah, because and we talked about this also. Like women are not designed to be promiscuous. They're just not. I know we're gonna have feminists and just people in general. Oh, women can cheat too. Just because they can doesn't mean they should. We understand that women are not designed to be promiscuous. We've shown, I think, 4 different studies showing that there's the reason why women can't successfully be promiscuous is because they regret their choices of being promiscuous. And on top of that, like there's questions. Like the question for the studies that we pulled up is, okay, do you regret your first time? Yeah. But men, no, not at all. Do you regret losing your virginity to this one person? Yeah, I kind of do. Do you regret having sex with multiple guys? Yeah. Vice versa. It's not the same thing for men, because women biologically, they understand that purity is their main commodity. If they can't sell purity to a man who they deem high value, who they really want, they're kind of in trouble. They're quite a bit in trouble, and they have to work actually harder, and they have to negotiate more with the man and say, look, I'm not pure, I've slept around, but here are some redeeming qualities. I can respect you, I can let you lead, I can be submissive. Like, she's got to really work now. Because she's not going to be as high value. Whereas men, it's not the same thing. We've shown multiple times, and we've even proven women, they'd rather date a man who's already in a committed relationship or even married versus some fool who has nothing going for him. Because again, it's mate copying. Women want pre-selection and they want social proof. Men aren't looking for that. So that's why when they look at a woman and they see her with like 3 or 4 or 5 dudes, we think that she's out there. And we can keep on.
Do I believe that we are biologically we just biologically want to sleep with more people because we have a penis between our legs and not a vagina? I don't.
Well, let me ask you this though, because you said you're bisexual. So that means you're attracted to men and women, right? So if you're with a woman, well, aren't you also attracted to men? So wouldn't you want a man and a woman?
No.
So you're just like, I just want one, and that's.
I made a commitment, and it's not even like I'm.
But there's no urge to want.
There's always
more.
Urge.
That's what I'm. That's what we're talking about.
But that doesn't mean that I'm biologically. I think men and women both have urges.
Where do you think the urge is coming from, though? If it's not biologically inside of you,
I think the urge comes from. I don't think it's a biological thing. I think
temptation, not urge.
I think
but the urge creates temptation, no?
But is temptation bad? Like you say in a way that's kind of like temptation.
I don't think temptation's bad. I don't think it's a thing of all. Then that goes back to all of us. Then all of us are meant to sleep with multiple people. So then that's just a whole different society thing. But it's not just. The question was, as men, are we? And I don't think so.
But regardless, I think it's important to understand, because I think we are. And if we can come to terms with that, we can begin to move past it if that's what we desire. But if we reject that idea that it's not natural, then we can't move past it if that's something that someone wants to do.
But do you agree it's just men? Do you agree with that statement that it's just men?
No, I think it's women too.
Okay. That's where I disagree.
Oh, no, because we just told the men.
Right.
Very, very quick. So we even showed a study, and we mentioned this earlier, about the 80% of women who deem men unattractive. 80% of men are deemed unattractive by women.
Right.
So if women are going after the 10 to 20% of males, those higher value guys, of course women are going to go for only those types of guys. Only them. So what I don't like, I have a little bit of a gripe with this one, is like, oh, well, this is mostly what women would say, to be honest with you.
What?
They'll say something like, oh, there's someone out there for everybody.
No, there isn't.
There's not.
That's what I'm saying. There's half of the males don't get to procreate. They don't have kids. And I met a lot. I met even people with money, men with money that don't even have kids.
This is why they're more female ancestors.
Yeah.
Because they're choosing the higher value guys. Right. Even the ones who already have multiple girlfriends and such. Because like, okay, I feel good with this guy because of pre-selection and social proof. Other women find him attractive and redeemable qualities. He's giving them that lifestyle that I want. So I want to, I want to compete a little bit with these women to see if I can be the main girl. Right. Girls will do that. Girls will say, they'll cap and say, oh, well, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, right. Okay, so if you wouldn't do that, then why aren't you with the bottom of the barrel guys? Why? Why are you still chasing those top 10, 20% males?
They'd rather be single.
Yeah, they'll be single and just be with cats and marry their cats.
I agree that it's men and women.
What it sounded like was, and correct me if I'm wrong, people started talking about like infidelity and, telling the truth. And I think like the urges and things are okay until you act upon it. And that's when both adults just have to have a conversation about, this isn't working out for me. I still want to, sleep around or whatever you want to call it. It sounds like some people want to have their cake and eat it too, which I don't necessarily agree with. But I think just as long as all parties involved have an understanding of what they're getting into, I don't see the issue.
I mean, honestly, I don't think I could say it any better than he did. Which I feel like
most of us or all of us kind of agree upon that in the end, it is a choice that like, if you want to be in a poly like relationship, that's fine as long as there was an agreement. Obviously, don't, be in a monogamous relationship and then, like single-handedly choose to, sleep with another woman without telling your partner. Like that's when like issues arise.
Hi, this is Ragini, the director of this episode. You can now stream your favorite episodes of Middle Ground on Spotify whenever you like. Please like this video if you enjoy watching it and subscribe to our channel. Now, let's get back to the video.
Submissive women are more attractive than dominating women.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Hell
Yeah. Absolutely. What? I don't even think we should debate.
Hell
this,
yeah.
honestly.
Listen, my
we
shirt
just let it
says submissive women are sexy. Okay, so
Yeah, it's true, man. It's true. Look, I think one of the most beautiful things about love is being able to fully take care of a woman in every way, whether that's emotionally, protecting, providing, everything about that.
Here's one thing I kind of want to bring up, and this comes to more of the religious standpoint. If I'm going to paraphrase, okay, and I haven't read the Bible fully, and Chris, you could probably.
I haven't either, but yeah.
But well, maybe this might be familiar with you. Again, I gotta paraphrase this because I haven't fully read it. But if we're talking about like the church, like the hierarchies, it's God, Jesus, men, women, and everything else below that, right?
Yeah.
And it is the duty, from if I'm paraphrasing, even just kind of doing it in my own words, men are the ones who are supposed to love women, but it's women who are supposed to be submissive to the man.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I love when women who say they're very religious say, "Oh, what is this thing? But aren't you religious? Did you read the Bible?" "Yeah, I read it." And I say, "Well, it's in your rule book. It says almost verbatim from what I'm saying, the woman is supposed to be submissive to the man, while the man is the one giving love to the woman.
The man's the leader. It goes like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's God, Jesus, man, and women, things like that. So I find it very interesting when we see women who are, or just men, anybody in general, when they're somewhat not giving in, but they want to convert or get into religion, and because they have like a bad past or they're going through a rough time, it's like, it's your choice. You do whatever you want. I respect everybody who wants to get into religion because I do think religion does help, okay? Yeah. Like Justin Waller said, it does create this
better society.
Yes, it creates a better society. It creates better grounds for people. And the thing is, back in the day, also when it came to mostly on religion, is we had people backing us up on certain beliefs that we've had. If the belief was, okay, women aren't supposed to be promiscuous, they're not supposed to get tattoos because of Leviticus, you had a crew behind you. You had people who were running the church behind you saying, yeah, you're not supposed to do that. So shaming was a thing, basically, right? Yeah. And I think that should be a thing again right now. We should shame men who are being lazy and are just not doing anything for themselves. We should shame women for being promiscuous and not understanding male nature and being submissive. We should totally do that. Yeah. Because the thing is that if we don't have a system, kind of like if you're an employer and you're not giving repercussions to people who are misbehaving or not following rules, what do you think happens? They just keep doing it over and over again. So we're not putting our foot down, shaming. Guess what? They keep doing it.
Yeah.
So the patriarchy has to come on in to start putting the foot down there.
Right.
Like every fairy tale that was ever written for all of time was about a man saving a woman from a castle and a dragon, right? Or some sort of scenario like that. And I think that's absolutely beautiful. And I have nothing against women being empowered, but I do feel like the happiest women in the world are the ones that look up to a man and that he can fight every day to love her and love his kids and his family and provide and be that source of something to actually look up to. Like, I believe a woman can admire a man and it's very, very, very healthy. Am I saying that somebody that doesn't do that is not a man? No, I would never. But ideally, the relationships that are going to work, the relationships in, let's say, the 30s, 40s, 50s, or whenever, we were having nuclear families stay together before we went off the gold standard and inflation pushed everybody to have two people have to have a job. Yeah, dude, I do. I think those relationships were much happier when the man could lead a house and be proud of going out and going to work every day and fighting for his family. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I think what we have to do is we have to look
Well
at
said, Wallace. Well
general
said.
female happiness, because that's really what I'm into. Like, I don't really care what guys think or what girls think. And I think I have a unique perspective in that I've worked with a lot of high-performing women that operate in this dominant role. And I work with them for the purpose of helping them be able to reintegrate with that more submissive, connected, intuitive part of themselves that really is connected to their bodies, that if they were connected to their bodies wouldn't be as dominant, at least in the presence of men. And with every woman that I've worked with, there is this deep, deep, deep desire, regardless of what she says externally, to submit to the leadership of a man that she knows can properly hold down the emotional space and really put her interest at the forefront.
Right? Because as soon as when a woman is dominant over that
I wanna
man,
say
she
one last
can't
point on
respect him.
submissiveness.
Yeah.
The thing about submissiveness too, here's where I'm taking the lady side. I take the lady side. If a woman comes up to me and says, okay, well, I shouldn't be submissive to just any man, I agree with that 100%. So if you don't feel confident with this guy, if he's a bum, if he's got nothing going for you, he's not presenting real tangible value for you, he doesn't, basically he has no future in which, or a lifestyle that he can give you, why should you be submissive to him? I'm on your side. I'm on your side on that one. But like I mentioned, if he has the power to give, he can give you basically everything you want to. Authority from his end has to come along as well, because he's the one who's giving everything. So yes, the submissiveness has to come on in, because you need to listen to him. You need to listen to him. You need to respect his word. You need to trust him that he's going to lead you and him as the family. You guys have kids, hopefully, procreate. You have to trust him to basically submit to his word and say, look, I got this. This is the decision I'm going to make. I believe this is best for our family. We're going to make this move here. But the moment you're starting to be argumentative and you start thinking that you're equal to him, trust me, ladies, it's downhill from there. It really is. Anything can happen at that point. Either the guy says, I'm not going to do this anymore, or you're just going to untie the knot, call no fault divorce, whatever, and then break up with them, and now you're a single mother. Right. Congratulations. You destroyed the family. Just like that.
It's just impossible.
It feels safe.
Right, exactly. And the thing is with submission is like if you even look at the word submission, sub, under, a mission. If I have a mission and this woman is under my mission, meaning I'm leading her, right? Then that is a actual good relationship that's going to flourish.
Truly, deep down, every woman would love nothing more than to be more feminine in a role, in a family, and take on that, either that motherly role or that nurturing role, or the role that feels supportive to the overall mission of a man. It's just got to be a man worth getting behind, and weak men are the reason why this is a problem. Case in point, look at the workplace. You don't see women applying for jobs to be power line guys or hang steel at steel companies. They're not picketing outside of the United States Army being like, why won't you draft me? They don't want that smoke, bro. Like and that's okay.
Right.
And I can't say enough. It's like, as a man, like, you get to take pride in taking care of a woman, protecting women. What about your daughters, man? You want to protect and provide, care for them. That's okay. Let them be feminine. A strong man doesn't need you to be a man. He say, fine, you can be a woman. You're safe, sweetheart. You come with me.
Right.
That's it.
Let's see what they got.
All right, guys.
There were just a few things that I disagree on.
that women shouldn't be
I
submissive.
think that
Come on, here
in
we go.
2023, especially, I think women just want to be able to look to the side and see their partner as an equal. And I think a lot of women now are, I don't think they're trying to be men. I think what they're realizing is that the qualities that they were looking for in men, they've always had it within themselves. If women are submissive, it's mostly for, I want to say, like, the validation for the man. I think they know in the back of their heads, like, they know now that they can do things on their own. I don't think they necessarily need a man, but I think what they're looking for is that intimacy to have a partner. But I don't think that they require one.
Oh, no, they do. Because, a lot of these girls, they usually go home and cry at night from being lonely, from not having a man. They have all these things, and then they're upset they don't have a man. You know what I mean? And I heard you say that, women want to be the man's equal.
See, no, I agree 100%. No, because of feminism, because of the independency thing in the bill of goods, you and I talked about from one of the episodes. This is the result of it. What feminists like to say, or even like women who just give advice in general, they say, "Oh, a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bike." That's what it boils down to.
Right.
The whole joke is, well, why does a fish need a bike? So, and now translate, why does a woman need a man? That's what it boils down to. Here's what happens. When women go through journeys like that, where they hold off so much on not finding a man, or you know what, You're super duper high value. You're an 11. You're even past a 10. You deserve this super high quality man. A lot of these women, I hate to break it to you ladies, you don't qualify for those types of guys. You just don't, because you prioritize experience, you prioritize being promiscuous, you have these masculine traits that men are not looking for. They're not looking for that. Like we talked about this in one of our previous episodes. In relationships, both opposite sexes, they look for things that they don't have. So if a woman is already feminine, why would she want a feminine man? If a masculine man is masculine, why would he want a masculine woman?